We've imported some geometry from Illustrator and scaled up. I didn't like a lot of what was there, so I'm going to be starting to draw in SketchUp. And this is our model, just really basic. Got some water in here. You can see when I selected it, it's in a group and the group lights up. And this is my park site. You can see that the park site is filled in, so it's actually a shape. You can see over here the parcel lines are just line work. You can see through them. I like to draw on a flat surface. It makes things a lot easier. I also like to draw in groups because then I'm not accidentally picking up geometry, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I use my move tool, I can either hit M on the keyboard or just grab it from the top up here. But if I start to move this around, I'm going to select it and then move it. You can see it lets me move it, but now if I drop it and drag it around, now I'm getting this really weird shape, right? And it's sticking together and it makes it really, really difficult. You know, it's just not at all what I want. So I'm going to undo all of that. That, and I'm going to start drawing with the tools up top. So I made this shape using a, a circle tool. So I made a couple of circles and then the arc tool. And I like this one. The 2-point arc is my favorite. You can use whatever you want. I don't love how many sides this has. So it's kind of like a bunch of straight lines. So if I want this to have more of a smooth arc, when I select the arc tool or the circle tool, ask me how many sides, and I can change that. And now it'll make a much smoother looking arc. See how that's a lot smoother? Come in here, make like that. And then I'm just going to hit the E button and erase all of this extra. And now I have kind of a more organic shape. And if I want to just like select the entire line, I can triple click it, 1, 2, 3, and then just delete it. I'm just hitting delete on the keyboard. So I like this shape better, and I'm gonna make that into a group because I want this to develop in the same, like I'm gonna copy it and paste it. So I want it to be the same and I want it to change. If I'm changing this one, I want the other one to change too. So I'm gonna make that into what we call a component. I'm going to hit G for group, and it makes it into a group. And then, oops, I'm gonna undo that real quick. I'm gonna I'm gonna cut it so that it's its own thing. So now this is a piece of geometry. These are their own kind of groups, geometries. And I'm just gonna paste this in place. Edit, paste in place. Like I cut it out of there, I paste it in place. I'm right clicking. I'm gonna hit make group, right click again, make component, and that'll give you, and I'm just gonna call this like garden because I know I'm gonna put plants and things in it. So I'm gonna paste that over here a little bit, take it around. I know I want some paths. Um, let's see here. I want these things to get cut out of this because I'm gonna use the offset tool to create a path system. So I'm gonna paste. I think this one's already cut out. I want to check that. I'm going to go up to edit and, or I'm sorry, view, component edit, hide the rest of the model. That'll just give me, see, everything got turned off. I'm going to hit paste in place because then I know that they're in the exact right place. I'm going to delete this one. I don't need it. Oh, whoops. delete that one. I'm also gonna, oops, I'm gonna explode this one. And then I can delete that geometry. Now I'm gonna use the offset tool to create some paths. But first, I think I'm gonna make kind of like a central street. Just gonna start from the middle. I'm gonna use the tape measure tool. I want that street to be like 40 feet wide. Pencil tool is just the L on the keyboard. You'll get used to the shortcuts E, L, spacebar, T for tape measure. You know, I want this to be like 20 feet. So I'm going to draw some of those paths. I won't make you watch me do all of it. I just hit L. I actually do need this to be a solid or a plane for now. I need this one to be a plane too, because I'm going to use the offset tool. So for this, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to pull this out, and I can either just pull it out and it make this crazy shape, or I can click it once and pull it. See, I just clicked my left button one time real quick, and you can see the number down here changing. So I'm going to put in that I want it to be, let's say 20 feet. And then it just gives me that exact distance. And then all I have to do over here is double click. And now I think I'm going to draw a couple of meandering paths. Just going to kind of connect this right here. And kind of do this. Oh, but see, that didn't work. So you can see I wasn't connected there. And I actually don't like how sharp this is. So I'm going to erase that one. I'm going to try again. I'm using the A that gives me my arc. And I'm going to have it be just a little bit less. You see how it disappeared there for a second? That meant that I wasn't on top of the geometry. So like right now, and you can check this, you can just orbit around in your model. If you've got a roll bar, I'm just holding my roll bar down and orbiting around. So there's that. Dark path over here. And I just want these to like be, kind of connected. So I have kind of like a primary path system that's, just a little bit more orthogonal. And then the secondary path system. And I didn't like the way that shape was looking, so I just hit escape or permanent escape, just kind of making it parallel here. You can get more specific with the details if you want to. You can type in like exact numbers and angles, but this is just for and I'm just using the E to get the eraser, but this is, I'm just sort of like making this up as I go, so it's not super exact right now. I think I want the primary path to be kind of the breakup with this. So there. Okay, so I won't make you watch me draw my whole path system, but I want this also to start looking like um grass or vegetation. I think I like, oh, I'm going to delete these because I've got them as components in another part of the model now. I think I want the central path to be brick. It's really small. I'm going to click on it. I've right clicked on it, texture, position. Yeah, it's really teeny tiny. I'm just going to pull this out. Oh, that's the wrong texture. I'm gonna I'm gonna use this brick cladding asphalt. And you could customize these if you want to. Um, get out of that texture. B gives you bucket. Okay, so that's the brick I want, but it's still really small. So I'm gonna position that and make it just a little bit bigger so it's more legible. And you can also change the angle. So like if I wanted the angle to be 45, I could do that too. So I'm gonna go ahead and use paint bucket, color this in a little bit, and we'll come back and I will show you a couple more tools.